G'day folks, welcome back to Ruck's Adventures here at Perth Zoo. I'm getting an insight into the historical plant treasures throughout the zoo. And to lead me on my adventure and unravel the magical botanical mystery and horticultural history is senior horticulturalist Kath Major. So Kath, there are so many beautiful old trees here. What can you tell us about the zoo's botanical history?
In 1898, a committee called the Acclimatisation Committee formed, and they had two objectives. One was to work out what they wanted to introduce into Australia, and the second one was about forming a botanic gardens or zoological gardens in Perth. So most of the established what we call relic trees from the botanic collection were planted between 1900 and 1906. The current site was mostly sand, and we did have remnant jarrah here. So they really wanted to bring exotic trees and plants.
I read that you've got 40 different palm species here, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. One of the big aspects was to make this a palm collection that was unrivaled in the Southern Hemisphere. By the end of the 30s, we had something like 40 species of palms in the collection.
Oh. And what are some of the standout trees?
Certainly the large Washingtonias that sit in the playground. They are probably the oldest in Perth. Holm oak, and the holm oak was planted pretty much at the opening of the zoo. So it is 124 years old, and it thrives in this beautiful Mediterranean climate here because it is a Mediterranean oak. We've got a couple of rainforest trees here that are absolute standouts. One is the Tuna australis, or the white cedar. We've got the podocarps here, the Podocarp alatus, or the native plum, or the brown plum. They do very well over here in Western Australia, and they're such a unique tree because they are the old Southern Hemisphere version of a conifer, very unique to Australia and New Zealand. Then we've got a lot of araucarias in the zoo. They were a real standout to know that they would do very well here. And then things like the Jabea chinensis, that's the Chilean wine palm, definitely our rarest in our collection of the palms.
And Kath has one more story to share about some very special trees. So what's the story, Kath, about these two magnificent trees?
The royal couple who visited Australia on their first visit, and it's the Queen's grandparents, so it's the Duke and Duchess of Cornwall and York, King George and Queen Mary. It's believed the king or prince at the time planted the smaller of the two araucarias, and the princess planted the larger one. And as far as I can see, I think these are only trees that are now still in existence from the royal couple's visit to Western Australia.
Well, thanks so much, Kath, for showing me around. It's really been an absolute pleasure. And folks, what a great day at Perth Zoo.